I'd ask subscribers for some hot takes. And for example, on YouTube, at SanFran5, he suggests David Arquette had a better career than Ryback. That one's very interesting. And what I like about this incorporation to the podcast is it's introducing topics that are not necessarily current. It's all around. It's all about just professional wrestling. And it brings up topics that maybe I wouldn't even have thought of. But let's dive into that. David Arquette. Number one, the main difference between David Arquette and Ryback is one had a world championship title reign. David Arquette was a WCW champion. Now, whether or not you agree with that booking decision, or whether you look fondly at that, it happened. It's in the record books. Ryback had championship opportunities against the likes of CM Punk and John Cena, having high-profile matches. If you want to talk about in-ring, it's hard to argue that Ryback didn't have better matches just because he trained to be a professional wrestler. Now, looking at it in terms of legacy, I think we as consumers, we as fans, I think we will look back fondly at David Arquette more than Ryback. You tell me one of your favorite Ryback matches. I'm not going to sit here and say David Arquette had the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time. But what I can appreciate with David Arquette is that, yes, he won the world championship. Wasn't the right call. Wasn't the right call, especially when you had a guy like Diamond Dallas Page literally in the match. And he recognized, this might not be the best choice here because he's not a professional wrestler. Years later, he re-enters the world of professional wrestling and gets into death matches with the likes of Nick Gage. He doesn't have to do that. I have a sense of respect for that. This is an outsider who wasn't a trained professional wrestler, but he's willing to put his body on the line and earn that respect. And for me, he earned my respect there. I like the fact that he was self-aware in the sense that, hey, I shouldn't win this world title. I really shouldn't. I'm not that guy. And then years later, he gets back in the ring. Now again, not going to pretend like he's the greatest wrestler of all time, but I can respect that effort. I can respect that acknowledgement. A guy like Ryback, we'll dive back to him. What are some of his greatest wrestling moments? His best run was that initial run from 2012 to 2013 when he fought the likes of CM Punk and John Cena. But after that, it's what really sticks out? He had an Intercontinental title reign that really didn't go anywhere. That Elimination Chamber matchup, that's one of the worst Elimination Chamber matchups of all time. And then look at his latest run on the internet. I mean, I'm not one to judge for what you say on the internet. Obviously, look what I'm doing. But in the sense of this comparison, I think in terms of legacy, David Arquette will be fondly, well, maybe not fondly, but he'll be looked back upon in a better sense than Ryback. I think years from now, we'll probably be talking about David Arquette more than Ryback. Whether it's for good or bad reasons, again, because that WCW title reign should not have happened. But it's something that at least we can look fondly upon in the sense that, but he kept going and tried to earn that respect. And that for me is a big deal.